It's really hard for me to read. I don't do as well as the other kids. How can I get better at it?
You can practice by reading more and asking for help, but have you prayed about it too? Happy Sunday and welcome to Keys for Kids. I am so glad that you're listening today. As always, my name is Zach. One of the hardest things I've learned about life is that you're always going to have something difficult to deal with. Maybe you have trouble learning in school or someone in your family is sick. Sometimes it's so overwhelming that you just feel like crying. Well, it's okay to cry, by the way. And did you know there's someone who wants to help you? Here's what 1 Peter 5:7 says. Give all your worries and cares to God, for He cares about you. And now let's listen to our story for the day. It's entitled, Heavy Load. Julian cheered in excitement at the tractor pulling contest. One of the contestants, a friend of Julian's family, revved the engine as his tractor strained to pull the heavy load. It inched along, then gathered speed to the finish line. He made it, Julian shouted, and he clapped along with others in the crowd. The next load he has to pull will be heavier, Grandpa said. The driver revved the engine again, and it moved slowly forward. The load behind the groaning tractor was dragged at a snail's pace to the finish line. Julian shot up from his seat and cheered. He grew anxious as he watched the workers add more weights to the next load. The driver powered up the engine, but nothing happened. Again, the engine roared, but the load didn't budge. The driver hunched over the wheel as if to coax the tractor into one last try before time was up. Julian felt like he was in the contest himself, and he yelled encouragement as the tractor began to inch forward. Slowly it went, until at last it reached the finish line. It had moved a heavier load than any other tractor. The crowd went wild. Over hot dogs and pop, Grandpa and Julian talked about the contest. It made me think about the struggles we have in life, said Grandpa. Sometimes our loads are almost too heavy for us to pull. Julian nodded, thinking about the hard time he had in reading class at school. He just couldn't read as well as the other kids. After getting his last report card, Julian had gone to his room and cried. Grandpa smiled at him. Way back when I was your age, I found out that Jesus wants to help us pull heavy loads, the hardships we face in life. So I ask Him to help me whenever I feel like things are just too much. The problems don't always disappear, but they seem lighter when I remember that Jesus, who took the burden of my sin by dying on the cross, wants to help me with any struggles that are weighing me down. Julian smiled back at Grandpa, knowing what he had to do. He would talk to Jesus about his struggle to read. He needed help with his heavy load. Well, how about you? Does something in your life seem too heavy to bear? Talk to Jesus about it. He wants to help you with your troubles. Maybe He'll take the burden away, but maybe not. Perhaps He'll simply comfort you and make your burden easier to bear as you trust Him with it. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, ask Him for help and trust that He'll lighten your load. Our key verse, once again, 1 Peter 5:7.
Give all your worries and cares to God, for He cares about you.
And our key thought for Sunday, Jesus lightens loads. Build your faith over the summer by joining Word with Zach. When you do, you'll be challenged to read the Keys for Kids devotional every day to keep learning about Jesus. And if you finish all 3 months of reading, your name will be entered to win the grand prize, which you won't want to miss. Build your faith all summer long by joining Word with Zach. Sign up with your mom and dad right now at wordwithzach.org. That's wordwithzach.org. I'm Zach. Thanks for listening to Keys for Kids.